What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Crypto Sherpa Show, where I cover the latest cryptocurrency news articles to keep you up to date on what's going on. And what is going on? Are we getting aliens before the Clarity Act? Or what is the bigger distraction, as we know? Yeah, because earlier today, or was it yesterday, we had Donnie J tweeting out on Twitter, not on Truth, not Twitter. President Trump directs Secretary of War and relevant departments to begin identifying and releasing government files on aliens, extraterrestrial life, UAPs, and UFOs. So, based on the tremendous interest shown, I will be directing the Secretary of War and other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process of identifying and releasing government files related to alien and extraterrestrial unidentified aerial phenomena, so the UAPs, and unidentified flying objects, which we all know, UFOs, and all other information connected to these highly complex but extremely interesting and important matters. God bless America. So, interesting. We're going to get some aliens coming out news. I would love to definitely get that. Polymarket bets the odds of the U.S. confirming aliens exist before 2027 surged to 22% on Polymarket. And again, they asked, are we getting aliens before the Clarity Act? I don't know. I don't think so now, because they had another meeting the other day, the third White House meeting, and they kind of come to a conclusion. Not a conclusion, but they came up with a terrible thing, which pushes it through, of course. Like, they basically bent the knee to the banks. It's like, okay, no yield on stable coins. So, but I think they were talking also about exchanges out there too, or no, transactions can earn yield, but not just holding the token. So that's going to be our first article going over the White House floats limited stablecoin rewards in third crypto bank meeting. But before we go through this article, it's got to be pointed out that Brian Armstrong tried his best to help out with this. He pointed out some flaws and everything out there, but because they come out with this rewards on stablecoins identity, he comes out like today and goes, basically, I'm going to do it anyway. So Coinbase is rolling out a feature allowing Coinbase One members to earn up to 3.5% rewards on USDC paid weekly in either Bitcoin or the stablecoin USDC. So, yeah, so even though they're pushing the Clarity Act saying no, Brian Armstrong's just going, So let's actually go into the article on what they did discuss yesterday. So the White House crypto advisor, Patrick Witt, reportedly refocused crypto and bank lobby talks on a crypto bill to allow stablecoin rewards to be tied to transaction activity. So the White House has reportedly refocused talks between the crypto and banks lobbyists on limiting how stablecoin rewards should be paid in the third meeting between the two groups over a crypto market structure bill. Now, crypto and banking industry representatives met at the White House on Thursday for the third time in 16 days to discuss stablecoin provisions and that have stalled the crypto bill, which the Senate is looking to pass. Now, no agreement was reached on Thursday, but executives at Coinbase and Ripple said that progress was made as one of the White House's crypto advisors urged a trade-off that would let third parties such as exchanges offer stablecoin rewards only on transactions activity, not on balances. So we rolled up our sleeves and went through specific language today. Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Ardradi, posted to X on Thursday that Coinbase's legal head, Paul Grewal, said the meeting was constructive and the tone cooperative. Now, Blockchain Association CEO Summer Mersinger said that the meeting was a step forward toward resolving issues related to stablecoin rewards and advancing legislation on the crypto market structure. Now, the Blockchain Association tweeted that following the statement, it is attributed to Blockchain Association CEO Summer Mersinger following today's White House meeting. So they say that today's meeting at the White House was a constructive step forward in resolving outstanding issues related to the stablecoin rewards and keeping market structure legislation on track. So I want to thank Patrick Witt and his team, Harry Jung and Nick Elliott, and the administration for championing this issue and for conveying industry and banking stakeholders to work through these complex but important issues. Today, meeting reflects serious engagement and shared commitment to getting this right, said the Blockchain Association CEO Summer Mersinger. They really aren't getting it right, but hey, we're going to have some defiance out there. That's why we have TradeFi and DeFi. But it's the third meeting between the three parties who first started meeting on February 2nd and then again days later on February 10th. Now, as the Senate is looking to pass a bill to define how U.S. market regulators will police crypto, the House passed a similar version of the bill, called the Clarity Act, in July. But then the effort has stalled as the Senate Banking Committee has not yet secured enough bipartisan support to move it forward. Now, Semaphore reporter Eleanor Mueller and journalist Eleanor Tourette both reported that the White House crypto advisor Patrick Witt drove the discussion at the latest meeting. Now, Witt pushed for a previously pitched proposal that would allow third parties to offer stablecoin rewards to customers tied to transactions and activity rather than balances than sticking point for banks. Now, their earning yield on idle balances is a key crypto industry goal and is effectively off the table, said Tourette. So, citing those who attended the meeting, the debate has narrowed to whether firms can offer rewards linked to certain activities. Semaphore Mueller's report that the banks will start meeting tomorrow to decide whether to agree or to trade off, and added that discussions would continue in the coming days. Now, the Bank Policy Institute, the American Bankers Association, and the Independent Community Bankers of America represented the banking industry, none of which have publicly commented on the latest White House meeting. So this is all. So I didn't realize that we haven't heard from their side, but I'm looking forward to what they have to say though about Brian Armstrong just going against them and saying like, yeah, nope, I'm going to offer yield on stable coins on my platform. So, but the banks fear competitive pressure, not deposit flight risk. Now, the banking groups have argued that stablecoin rewards will compete with and undermine the banking system, leading to bank deposits shifting to stablecoins. Now, the U.S. Treasury estimated in April that the widespread adoption of stablecoins could trigger $6.6 trillion in deposit outflows from the banking system. However, according to Tourette, one banking member at the meeting said that their concerns stem more from competitive pressures than from deposit flight. So again, the banks they hate competition. They don't want it. They want to keep them in charge of it all. So, but yeah, so it looks like coming out of that stalemate, like they go forward with just like allowing the banks to be the only ones to allow yield earnings on stablecoins out there, and the exchanges can only earn yield or offer yield to people doing transactions on certain activity. It's not for the good, but it's kind of a way to push it forward. And again, but we're going to have these guys out there, like other exchanges, not just Brian, probably just going against it to really just show their point. But because of that, though, again, we could get it a little bit faster than aliens coming out before the Clarity Act. So who knows if we do get the So as long as we keep seeing more progression on like these meetings and how far the Clarity Act's going, you may have a nice position to go into Polymarket, place a bet, and say no, and then make a win off there. So hey, that could be a win. But yeah, so that's what's taking place over in the White House. Now, wasn't not so much news today, but I do want to highlight that the Bitcoin Lightning Network just exceeded $1 billion in monthly volume, and that happened back in November. So the Lightning Network is expanding. More and more people are adopting it. And so I want to just go over this article about the analysis behind it. So analysis by Bitcoin service company River forecasts a transaction surge as individuals and businesses experiment with AI agentic payments. So monthly transactions volume on the Bitcoin Lightning Network, a secondary layer for Bitcoin that enables payment use cases, surpassed the 1 billion milestone in November 2025. According to a report from the Bitcoin financial service company River. Now, transaction volume on the Lightning Network hit an estimated 1.1 billion in November across 5.2 million transactions, according to the report shared by Sam Wooters, River's director of marketing. Now, the report said that the Lightning adoption happened despite the price declining all of November and generally not doing much in 2025. Now, the adoption was largely driven by exchanges as well as a growing number of businesses accepting Bitcoin payments. And we've been definitely a lot of positive feedback from Stake and Shake. But here are the numbers from, let's see, Yeah, so left side is the volume, so how much money was going through in each month. Each year of that month, and the other side is the how many transactions took place. So as we can see here in November, there was 1.17 billion volume that was traded on the Lightning Network, but 5.22 million and 5.22 transactions that were of it. And then compared to 4 years ago, yeah, look how fat. Like, wait a minute, August 2023, there was a lot of transactions happening in there, but it doesn't matter. I like seeing this faction of like how much actually volume is being traded on there, just showing it's growing. So, however, the total transactions count in 2025 is still lower compared with 2023, when monthly Lightning transactions peaked at 6.6 million, than in August of that year, which River attributed to experiments with micropayments in gaming and messaging apps. Now, the reporter forecast a similar surge in Lightning transactions as individuals and business experiment with AI payments. Now, the Bitcoin Lightning Network helps scale the Bitcoin network, enabling Bitcoin payments between parties that settle in seconds instead of minutes, and then encouraging Bitcoin's use as a medium of exchange instead of just a risk asset or store of value. So yeah, if you didn't know, the Lightning Network does make everything cheaper. Bitcoin, usually if you do a transaction, it could take 10 minutes, because that's usually average block time, or it could take 30 minutes, depending just how long it takes. And the fee, probably around like 20 or 50 cents. That's what I'm noticing right now in today's pricing, like when I do a transaction. But with Lightning Network, instead of waiting those 10 minutes, 30 minutes, it settles it instantaneously. And then also, it's fractions of a penny for the fee to send it over. So it can be used as a currency that way, because it's happening off chain, but eventually those transactions are rolling back onto Bitcoin's main chain. So Lightning Network is a great tool to have. Now, exchanges and institutional clients adopt the Lightning Network. The Lightning Network reduces, again, transaction costs and settlement times by opening up a payments channel between two or more parties to handle transactions off-chain, posting only the net balance of the channel to Bitcoin's ledger once it is closed. Now, typically, Bitcoin blocks take 10 minutes on average to be added to the ledger, severely limiting Bitcoin payments, particularly for smaller purchases at physical businesses. But in December 2025, the network's capacity, the total number of coins locked on network for liquidity, it reached 5,606 Bitcoin as more companies and institutions began using it. Now, here's the Lightning Network as of 2026. Like, there is so many, like the wallets and exchanges. I personally use Moon, MUN, as my Lightning wallet, but you still have many other choices out there to do for the non-custodial ones. So you get a receipt phrase. Then you got like applications, neobank accounts, so Cash App, Stripe, those are some big ones. Oh, even Chiva. Well, that's El Salvador. Yeah. And then you have exchanges supporting it. So basically all the major exchanges in there, Coinbase, Kraken, Bitfinex, River, like they take a part of it. And so, yeah, the Lightning Network ecosystem has grown significantly since it was introduced to us. But secure digital markets and institutional trading and lending companies sent crypto exchange Kraken $1 million in Lightning transactions in February. Now, the transactions show that a large seven-figure amount can be transferred between institutional parties using Bitcoin's Layer 2 scaling network. So, yeah, so just highlighting that Bitcoin is still expanding on the Lightning Network side. It's being adopted, not over here on this news for the White House. And that's stablecoin news. My only thoughts on this Stable Clarity Act is really just it will eventually get more people into crypto. That's the hope. So it's like, okay, rules get in place. Some people start getting into it. And then that hopefully eventually leads into them getting on the DeFi side. They want to be in control of their money and start getting Bitcoin. But sure, Bitcoin's price may be higher, but that is how I'm seeing like the hopes for this, because I don't think the Clarity Act, Genius Act really do benefit crypto in itself. It's just helping what it's the traditional system has been. But I do like the fact, I have the hope of the fact that it's going to introduce even more people into crypto, start using it, not just calling it a Ponzi scheme, pyramid scheme. It's not real money at all. But again, like it is real money, because if you break down what money is, it's just in trust that that currency is what it is and it works. That's what our fiat currency is. That's what every currency has always been. But now we're getting times where people are truly believing that Bitcoin is currency. I am one of them. And that does make it currency, even though, and also we have a country that's made it actually recognized as legal tender. That was El Salvador. I think there's two others out there as well. So yeah, there's still so much adoption going on. I love seeing Bitcoin's Lightning Network expand. And yeah, sure, I would love to see aliens come out too, because that's everyone's always interest. But yeah, that's about it though for the only news articles I have for you today. I think next week Strategy is holding some type of corporate event. Yeah, Strategy World 2026 Corporations. Looks like we're going to have Natalie Brunelli as a host and creator. No, host and what do they call this person? Moderator. Yeah, moderator. James Lavish with Michael Saylor and Fong Li, the CEO of Strategy. Fong Li tweeted, "Saylor and I often end our days talking Bitcoin and strategy. Next Wednesday at Bitcoin for Corporations, we'll open that conversation to everyone. Moderator by Natalie Brunelli and James Lavish. Drop their questions below or join our live for Q&A." Now, these are just great videos to watch. Escape of the day. These are big players in space. Michael Saylor's company, especially Strategy, they own 4.3%, 5.4%. They own quite a bit of the Bitcoin supply right now, that company's holdings. So, and just having discussions with some people in the industry, in the space, like even if it's not this, like watch the Ethereum Denver conference they have, if they have any talk shows. Like you're just gathering information out there, seeing what's changing, what's happening. So yeah, just keep this on your radar that this is happening next Wednesday. I always like watching the highlights, usually catch the end of it. So it's just a great way to stay informed on what's going on. Just then you're really seeing the adoption happen around the world, because with these big players, their companies, they're introducing it. It's like, But that is it for the news today. Let's take a look at our fear and greed index as always. Like, how are people feeling? We're still in the extreme fear territory, but we're at 12. Still better than the low 5 that we had at one time. Bitcoin's at 67,000. Are we currently trying to like bounce that 68? It is. Like, can we make it this weekend? We could, maybe. And again, like, we could have a spike up again coming in March. It's tax season around. People are gonna get some tax returns. If it's really good, some usually throw it into an asset out there, whether it be gold, Bitcoin, crypto, real estate, whatever it is, some type of investment out there. That's why we usually see some spikes going. So, but can we still hit the bottom? I'm still adamant about that 200-week moving average. So again, I think we need to hit there before we start seeing a true pump go up. But let's see, performance by the year. Otherwise, I'm also hoping, though, we see a 2023 scenario where look at that, like how much it had. Like these charts are showing like every single year. So the green line's where we're at right now, 2026. The blue line's what happened last year. Yellow is 2024, and 2022 is purple. So I'm hoping we have like a 2024, 2025, 2020. What are my years again? 2023, 2024 years. Like that's what I'm hoping like we would see. But like right here, that's that March spike, and it kind of actually happened everywhere. When you take a look at the average, this always does this when I pop up on here. It doesn't give me the average, but yeah, so hopefully we do get, I'm hoping for a pump. Otherwise, I'm still expecting just a 4-year cycle, and still the bullish narrative will just, like, we'll be moving up, but this is going to take longer than we're waiting for the end of the year. So who knows? No one knows, but it's still fun staying in the space. But everyone, have an awesome Friday. I will see you guys again on Monday with more crypto news. So enjoy your weekend. Go to the beach, go to the lake, walk in the mountains or forest, wherever you're at. Just like get out there, enjoy your life. So have an awesome weekend, guys, and I'll see you on Monday.